Hi, this is Travis.
This is Jonathan.
And welcome to the 100 Ways to Love a Podcast, coming to you now from
Mermalada Paqueña.
Mermalada Paqueña. Here we are. We made it. Is Trish, she said she didn't want to be here for this.
No, she said she didn't want to have anything to do with the
Podcast, okay. But she's inside.
She's inside. Listen, don't worry. We are on vacation. Travis is getting some much-needed self-love and self-care.
Yeah.
He's relaxed as a bug in a rug.
Well, I'm adjusting. There's an adjustment period.
We are a little jet-lagged. We're a little crumpled up after all that long flight.
And unfortunately, right now, the water is not working in the timeshare. And Trish said she's gonna get on top of that.
It's not just the timeshare; it's the entire nation.
Well,
it's a city, state, nation, state.
I don't know what she can do about
factory.
that.
She knows.
But it'd be nice to get a shower. You know that feeling.
They have
a
committee. They rule by committee here, and she knows several people on the committee.
Well, maybe all power to her. That's great.
There's an ocean right there.
Well, the ocean, I think, would probably make the situation a little worse because it stains. You would need to take a shower after you get out of the ocean. So you're putting the ocean water, and I don't mean all ocean water is bad. You're putting ocean water over bad. Airplane funk.
This ocean water is bad. There's a lot of dead plant life and marine life.
It's a very dark color. It's
very sticky.
I don't know. It just seems like that would be making matters worse to get into the ocean right after this flight.
But it's not cool so much ocean air. It's more of a tropical. It's hot. It's very hot down here.
It is hot. It's hot. But I don't know if I need to change. I need to change clothes just because we're wearing these. Yes, but I think when we can comfortably
the other
shower,
thing is,
I can put on shorts and a T-shirt, and I think I'll be fine.
No one told you to wear a suit. Nobody said dress up to fly on a plane.
You want to make a good impression. This is the first time that a lot of people have never. A lot of people don't know what Americans are like or where they come from, and they know where they come from, but sometimes they come someplace before they go to America. But either way, you want to make a good impression. You want to. This is. Certainly, I want them to think that all Americans are as nice, or at least dress as nice as I do, because they'll be in for one hell of a shock when they finally get to travel abroad.
Oh, like you're playing a prank on them.
Well, no, not so much, but they'll remember back like, oh, he was okay.
And then they get here to America, and everybody's like, oh, no, look how they look. Right. I get it. But they're going to think everybody, if they're basing it off you, that everyone in America just turned a hose on them and just because you're really sweating and that suit is just rich.
Again, the plane had some air ventilation problems as well.
The plane was terrible.
Well,
it's hot here,
terrible, but it's hot. But hopefully, Trish, with her, who she knows,
the landscape also very industrial. So that sort of palm tree, just a lot of sort of bricks, like broken bricks and. Piping. The whole place is mostly a factory, and there's some barracks in the factories, and there's a few resorts that I think you pay a hefty price tag for, and I think inside they sort of have a manufactured Mediterranean feel.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember on the horse. It's very when you get off the plane. There's only 3 cars here, so you have. A horse or mule of your choice to pull.
Which did we have? Because I couldn't tell.
I don't know. That's not something I know about. But he did offer us either or, and also a buggy or a.
Well, that was
wagon.
the thing. I was like, you horse or a
mule?
Which
goes with which is what? Yeah, I don't have an experience with that. But
I thought they looked the same to me.
Well, the 3 of us, so we got.
I couldn't tell the difference between the buggy or the wagon.
Well, I think the buggy was smaller. I think. I don't know. But we chose. I wouldn't say the least expensive, but we chose, I would say, the middle of the offers that we were given.
It was funny when he pretended like the mule was going to get in the cart with us.
That did make me laugh. That was fun.
He was funny.
But it's fascinating. On the way here, I and I know you remember this because you overheard me asking our driver. I looked to my left, and I on my left hand side, the ocean's on the right, and then on the left hand side, you could see what looked to me to appear to be ancient ruins. I mean, that's what it looked like. It looked like I'm not going to say Aztec or anything like, because I don't know all that, but I'm talking about. But it looked like it looked like Rome or something. But these columns, and it looked like it had been there for centuries. I said, Can you tell me a little bit about the history here? And he said, earthquake took the mall down. It was the mall.
Oh, that would have been nice. I would have loved to have gone to like a Spencer's or a...
Yeah, but it looked... I mean, it must have... Maybe they had a certain decor to make it look like ancient times or something. I don't know, but I could have swore...
do that at a lot of malls.
Malls, that's true. So
they have a lot of earthquakes here. You have
but it
to
threw
be
me
careful.
for a loop. You told... See, I wasn't aware of that until he mentioned that. He says
Trish's girl told me that the earthquakes... It's earthquakes and some sort of poisonous beetle, and those are the main things you have to look out for. And she kept saying, there's one. I didn't see them at all, so I don't know.
I'll keep my eyes open, but
she was talking to the mule man, and I don't know what language. That's another thing. I don't know what language. It's not Spanish. It's not Portuguese. It's not Dutch. I mean, I asked them. I said, is that Spanish? They're like, nope. Is it Portuguese? No, nope.
Went down the list. Yeah.
Is it Dutch? I'm like, nope. So I don't know what they speak here. I don't know anything about this place other than it's hot. We can't get a shower. The water is oozes.
Too mucky to. I wouldn't even dip my toe in it. I mean,
well, you got those nice shoes on.
Well, I could take them off, but I wouldn't. There's no reason to. Is the point I was making.
And Trish is. I mean, I don't know what her. Do you think she has water? Because.
Well, you know what? Why don't we play the song? That's what we're here to do.
I
for those of you who may not know.
It sounded like a shower, from the master's suite.
Well, why don't we play the song and we'll check in with Trish and see what the water situation
Should I
is.
text her? She's not much fun so far. But, she loosens up when she's drunk.
Okay.
There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 1. Keep a tidy house for them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 2. Be sure to clip their claws. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 3. Scoop their box daily. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 4. Brush them with a hairbrush. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 5. Don't squeeze their paws hard. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 6. Give them some fresh water. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 7. Let them have a fish. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 8. Buy them a scratching post. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 9. Put them in your lap. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 10. Be quiet when they're sleeping. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 11. Whisper, I love you. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 12. Rub their soft belly. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 13. Make sure their tail is clean. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 14. Give them a yarn ball. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 15. Make them a nice bed. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 16. Buy him some catnip. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 17. Play them some music. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 18. Get them a cute collar. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 19. Make sure they're vaccinated. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 20. Take their picture. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 21. Brush their teeth. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 22. Let them watch TV. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 23. Don't let them be outside by themselves. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 24. Feed them some cat food. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 25. Make sure their eyes are clean. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 26. Put a liner in their box. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 27. Give them a mat to wipe their feet on. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 28. Don't forget them on Christmas. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 29. Make sure they're spayed or neutered. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 30. Hold them like a baby. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 31. Let them have a towel or blanket. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 32. Keep your toilet lid down. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 33. Don't let them chew on power cords. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 34. Set them by the window. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 35. Cat-proof your home. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 36. Change their litter weekly. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 37. Praise them lavishly. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 38. Never feed him chicken bones. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 39. Teach them a funny trick. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 40. Give them a toy mouse. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 41. Clean up their hairballs. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 42. Keep them away from candles. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 43. Give him a separate zone. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 44. Never play with them aggressively. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 45. Increase his cuddle time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 46. Be sure to watch his weight. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 47. If you leave, turn on the radio. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 48. Scold him firmly but with kindness. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 49. Respond when he meows. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 50. Give them a thing of cat grass. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 51. Scratch under his chin. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 52. Remind him that you love him. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 53. Give them a box to play in. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 54. If they're old, help them get down. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 55. Let them lick you with their rough tongue. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 56. Record precious memories. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 57. Dress them up in ribbons. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 58. Give them a flea treatment. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 59. Make a vet appointment. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 60. Give them a little wet food. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 61. When they scratch you, don't get angry. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 62. Give them some private time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 63. Treat them with respect. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 64. When he grooms himself, say good job. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 65. Let them chase a laser pointer. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 66. Clean out their ears. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 67. Never smoke around them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Wait, 68. Buy a sturdy cat carrier. 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways. ways. 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 69. Listen to them purr. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 70. Dented by temptations. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 71. Give them your full attention. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 72. Don't trap them in the laundry basket. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 73. Let them sleep in bed with you. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 74. Make sure they're not locked in the closet. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 75. Don't let them play in plastic bags. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 76. Give them a massage. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 77. Touch him as you pass by. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 78. If he's on the couch, don't be mad. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 79. If they hate fans, turn the fan off. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 80. When there's a bird outside, say, hey, look. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 81. Intrigue them with a funny sound. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 82. Don't forget sardine time. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 83. Let him play with your old socks. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 84, stroke in the direction that his fur goes. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 85, admire his long whiskers. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 86, keep his box away from his food. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 87, pretend that he's a piano. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 88, don't interrupt them while they're eating. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 89, when they're scared, go and comfort them. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 90, let him have a lick. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 91, if their breath stinks, give them greenies. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 92, give him a ball with a bell in it. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 93, if it's hot, put ice in their bowl. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 94, let him drink out of the sink. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 95, don't vacuum if it scares him. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 96, draw a picture of him. 100 loving ways. 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 There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 97, if you drop some food, it's theirs now. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 98, read him a book. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 99, feed him again. 100 loving ways. There are 100 ways to love a cat. 100 loving ways. Way 100, just love them every day. 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways. 100 loving ways.
And there you have it. I would like to let everyone know that when I went in to check with Trish, the whole time we took the laptop with us, we had kept our headphones on. We listened to all of that song. We communicated with Trish through paper and pen because we didn't want to interrupt the flow of the song. We didn't want, but you know, I can read and listen.
There were 3 earthquakes.
In that time, it was a little frightening. Trish does not know. She was upset because she said she didn't want to have anything to do with the podcast, and we were walking back there. We had the laptop and the equipment.
I don't know why that disgusts her so much.
Well, she just doesn't. She didn't want. I mean, to each his own. That's fine. But we weren't trying to include her. We were just checking in, and we can't not listen to the song. If we're asking all of you to listen to the song, we're on vacation right now. And we're still going to listen to this song. I don't consider listening to this song work.
No, this isn't work. This isn't like your jobs or your family situation or your religious duties.
Not at all.
This is we are going to get, no matter what happens with the water, and Trish said, who knows? And I didn't know Trish was on the committee. So she's actually, it's sort of a title. I guess when her family first came here and took up a lot of the land away from whoever else was here, she was sort of like given a title. And so she's on the committee. So I guess she's on the committee that rules Mermalada Paqueña. So you'd think she'd have something to say. I guess she's here for a meeting. I didn't understand. Like when I was like, let's take Travis and let's get him rested and relaxed. And she's like, oh, let's go to Mermalada Paqueña. But she's here. There's an important meeting or some sort of uprising or some sort of like unrest. She didn't
really letting us in on that, but that's not our business. That's
it's
fine.
not our business.
She's on the committee. We're not.
We're here on vacation.
Yeah. We need to probably, and I know they've done a good job of it, but some of these, some of the picture frames, we should probably try to get them to stay on the wall with the earthquakes. Usually, if you have earthquakes that frequently, you're usually prepared for that. But I guess
no, there's so much broken glass, and so apparently, what stirs up the poisonous beetles are the earthquakes. And the noise of the things falling off the walls. Mm-hmm. But I guess there's an old wives' tale. This is what Trish was saying. Like, she's like, stop asking me so many questions. But the old wives' tale here on the island is that it's the sound of the broken glass that keeps the poisonous beetles away. Scientists employed by the factory believes that it's
what attracts them.
Attracts them.
Yeah.
So there you have sort of the old timers versus
new generation.
New
science
so
generation.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I love them. The new science generation.
Oh, they're good.
It's one of my favorite bands.
They're good.
It's one of my favorite Prince bands.
Right. He had a lot of good ones, and that was certainly one of them.
Number one.
I think so.
And also, that's probably why Trish is in such a bad mood and why she's being such a, about the money.
Well, the flight was rough, and there's no. I didn't know that there was no air. There's no central air,
and the water. She definitely has a shower in her suite, and she said maybe when she goes to the board meeting tomorrow. To address the killings, that maybe we can get in there. Maybe we can get in there. And
would she let us use her shower while she's at the committee? Would that be all right?
Would you? Okay, this is weird. I know, but you would. We've showered together at the gym and after a game.
Well, sure. If that's
it may have to be a situation.
That'll be fine. If that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do. I'm not ashamed.
And Trish's girl has a timer, like a timer clock.
Oh, for what? Okay, so.
It may be a situation.
Many times you get in there and get out. I know in a rush.
Hey, a shower is a shower. Fast. What we need to do is get out there.
You're not going to get any wetter if you stay in there for an hour. You're going to be the same amount of wet.
We're not a sponge. We can't just keep absorbing it until we're sodden. We're people. So we got to recharge our batteries, and that's what's going to happen. And then the podcast is going to be like, top notch. So you can throw your poisonous beetles at us or your earthquakes or whatever's happening in the factory that's got Trish so upset. The national slogan of Mermalada Paqueña is, it's temporary. That's what's on the 3 license plates, and that's what Travis, it's temporary.
Okay. I'm just got here. I'm not going to make judgment calls. I'm going to experience what the experience is. I'm not going to sit there, what a lousy time, even, it's not yet. And hopefully things will be corrected soon, and we'll work it out. Until then, you and I can share a shower, a very quick one. And
in all honesty, a quick shower is probably going to be less awkward.
All right, thanks, everybody. Come back and listen to 100 Ways to Love a Cat podcast, which plays the 100 Ways to Love a Cat song next week.
Hey, and if all goes according to plan, we'll still be here.
Well, that's the plan, hopefully. Yeah.
I can't even imagine how rested we're going to be after another weekend.